And welcome to another episode of Experts Speak. I am Michael DeLon. Today I'm talking with Kim Kelley. Kim, thank you so much for just hanging out with me and spending some time together.
Well, I look forward to it. I think this is going to be a fun conversation.
I think so too. It's going to be great. Kim is co-founder and CEO of a company called Paperback. And they're just, I love it. They're solving the unsolvable problems around, well, job search and career and life work and satisfaction using just this whole combination. And I'm just going to slaughter this, Kim, and I apologize up front, but it's genotyping and AI technologies along with human genome stuff. And it's just beyond me, but I can't wait to dive into it because it's super cool how you're helping people really excel in life pathways. So,
yeah.
First question is, how in the world did you get doing this?
Well, but before I answer your question, you didn't chop it up. You did very good. You kind of got it. So yes, it's technology that uses a bunch of advances in learning science and AI and genosciences, and it just kind of makes it poof, magic happen in a very easy way. But how did I get here is a question I always get asked because like you started the conversation, the mission for Paperback is to solve the unsolvable problems. And what we're calling is the unsolvable problems is what historically people have said are not possible. It's not possible for us to create an equitable working world. It's not possible to help people make wiser decisions about education and work. It's not possible for people to proactively plan their careers so that there's less income scarcity as AI starts to change our workforce and our job makeup. Like there was just so many things that people kept telling me it's not possible, it's not possible. And I have this weird obsession with solving problems. So I was like, okay, fine. You tested me. Let's see if we can do it. And how the aha moment came about is my daughter came back from her university. And I came home, and keep in mind, I have 25 years as an executive officer in HR operations and strategy. I come home and my daughter is distraught. She's like, yeah, I could tell, like the weight of the world is on her shoulders. So what's going on? She's like, I cannot get a job in my major. Okay, don't tell my professional network. I'm an HR professional whose daughter can't get a job.
That's right.
That is the aha moment. If an HR professional's daughter can't get a job, then the HR professional failed.
Mm.
And why did we fail? Well, we kept this really outdated narrative that didn't move along with technology, work, or time, which was we made this transition, not to geek out on, I'll be super quick about this, but we made this transition into what a university or college was around 1910, 1920. And that was like the transition from farm life, independent living, industrial revolution. And now now there's this fabulous place where more people can go than just Michelangelo to learn about amazing concepts. Then you roll into like the 1940s, and now it's a commercialized experience. Universities and colleges, they meet the world of marketing and branding, but work still is very linear. Like you can start off in one job and you're going to die in that one job, right? So it's okay, fine. We're still walking this path. The 1970s hit, and the internet becomes public, information becomes accessible. Work is changing very fast, and it just is compounding. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I set up a structure for the world that existed in 1920 that doesn't exist in 2024. So that's the motivation. That's how I got to create Paperback. And, in short, I could have just told you I'm paying my penance.
I love it. You need to lead with that one. That'll capture people's attention. Like, tell me more. Then you tell the story. I am paying my penance. I'm being prayed out of purgatory. I love it.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's bring this to reality. You told me a little story at the very beginning before we got on the podcast about a 6-year-old and an 80-year-old or something like that. Talk about that, and let's use that as kind of the springboard to get into all this, because that kind of got me onto the board to go, Oh, I'm starting to understand. So tell about that and genome work and all that stuff.
Yeah, so most human beings have been exposed to different type of aptitude and what do they call it? Aptitude, personality profile tests, Myers-Briggs, et cetera. Like we're all just exposed to that, right? Like how many have you taken in your life, Michael?
Yeah, at least 10.
At
Oh,
least.
from marriage conferences and jobs, and at least 10.
Yeah. Yes, yes. And you'll find, I mean, how many of those that you do see this common pattern?
About 9. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. So what PeopleWorks technology does is a couple things. We bring data that's driven by real-time information, not historical. We bring AI that's community driven, meaning me as Kim, the CEO, is not designing the code by myself. Michael, when you become a user in our population, you're contributing to how that AI starts to learn about what it is that you do, want, see, et cetera. And that's great because then people realize that, oh, you have the power to design this wonderful machine. You have the power to get access to something really amazing. But then we add this cherry on top, which is called genotyping. And what we do through our technology, we have a few vendors that help us deliver this kind of experience because it is simplifying over 200 years of behavioral sciences and learning technology. So you just take a picture. You can take a picture. If you don't, that weirds people out. They can do a little dot survey. But within just a picture, I can tell all of those 10 assessments that you've ever done in your life. I can tell your probability for achieving the goals that you've set for yourself in a specific working condition and the education that you need to make that happen all within 6 to 8 minutes, right? So your picture, this is not, people always ask me like, is this facial recognition? And that's not the same thing. Facial recognition says your external characteristics, your skin tone, your hair color, your shirt, your, like, you have a mustache, are you wearing glasses? That's all facial recognition. Genotyping looks underneath your external characteristics and says that over millions and millions of eons of years, that people with a high cheekbone, a pointy chin, a furrowed brow, those are very decisive people, and you should trust them immensely. And that's the kind of information that the technology just makes accessible. So a 6th grader can do it, a 60-year-old can do it who's looking to figure out what's next in their life, or even figure out their place in this new working world and economy. And that's what it's about.
That's amazing. The word that just came to me, Kim, when I'm thinking about, so I've got 2 teenage daughters. They're 16, soon to be 16 and 13. And they don't have a clue what they want to do in the world, right? If we did this with them and you were able to lay out kind of a trajectory to say, here's what you can do in life, the confidence it could give them.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes, well, you got it. I mean, you pretty much understand my entire business right now. Like, but the ironic part about what we do at PeopleWorks and what we've learned about human behavior over 6 years of business is we can map out all of the practicality and we can support you so that you can walk into confidence in your future. But there's this little thing called freedom of choice and this idea that I'm going to do life my own way. Like, my youngest daughter, she's done both of my daughters have done this technology. They live in it, they use it every day. So I practice what I preach all day, every day. My entire company is built with people who were hired from this platform. Like I make sure that I'm an example of what it is that we believe is just a different way to be ready for the future of our new economy. And my youngest daughter, she'll be the first to tell you, like, I hear you. I hear all of your wisdom and I don't care. I want to do it all on my own. I want to fail. I want to feel the failure. I want to go through that pain because I made that decision. So yes, Michael, while that is exactly what we aspire to do, we still have that, human nature that feels like, I'll try it on my own. And then they still get and they're like, oh,
You play that song. I think it was Sinatra, right? And Elvis made it for I did it my way. Just play that for us. It's already been done, girl. Just follow mom. All right, just listen to mom. Really. So your platform, People Work, is it for businesses, organizations, individual people, families, everybody?
Well, that's the unsolvable problem. So we actually, in order for us to solve unsolvable problems about helping people get predictive information so that we have stable economies, that government systems work more effectively, that individuals actually feel more confident about their place in the future economy, all of that requires all of the party. So when people asked me about what we were doing, and I said, well, we help governments because governments want to be able to distribute tax dollars more effectively. And one of the mechanisms of our platform is to do that. So if your daughter got onto the platform and she was like, oh yeah, I totally agree with this recommendation, and then we start to action that plan for her, we're bringing in scholarships, we're bringing in grant funding for education. We're bringing in all of that because we know it. Like, we know how the system works. So let's just make it easier and accessible. Companies use us to basically build their future workforce. They're the ones that know that work is like this now. Like, it's changes so quickly. So they come to us so that we help them help their people change with the needs of the business faster. And of course, everything is designed around the individual. So without you, Michael, telling me what you want out of life and out of income goals and how you see yourself in the future, it doesn't really matter. Like, companies and governments can plan all day long, but if Michael has no interest in participating in any of it, like, you kind of have a crumbling system, right? So that, to answer your question, it is a solution that has a place for everyone. But that is also what makes it so unique, but also such a challenge as we've grown, because to get people to all play together in the sandbox is quite a challenge.
Oh, I can only imagine. Especially when you're talking about those wacky things like genome stuff and AI technology. And I mean, you're on the bleeding edge, girl. And I know you know this because it's probably not new to you. You've probably lived it for a few years, but for most of us out here, we're like, oh, that is just like, that's like wicked science, Harry Potter stuff.
Yes.
But it's really amazing to jump into that. If we go to or listen to like Abundance 360s or just the thought leaders, you realize this really, dare I say, this is not new. Maybe the way you've combined things is new.
Yes.
So we need to be able to embrace new, to go, this is wicked cool. I was sitting here as you were talking about that. I'm like, wow, for families, education, kids, what do you want to study in college? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know. Maybe you could help them a little bit, right?
Yes.
How about, which college should I choose? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could help them with it. I'm sitting like practical stuff that will help decrease conflict in families, make them better, because that's going to play out in the workforce as well. Am I on track?
Yes, you just did my commercial. You're hired, Michael. You're hired. You're hired. You're hired. But I love how you framed it about what's new versus not new. One of if we have organizations that say, I'm not quite sure if this is it for me, their words are very, very indicative of exactly what you said. We're just not ready for this. And which is sad in and of itself, because the future is here. And so we try to help organizations move into the now, because trying to figure out your foundations that you should have had in the 80s, that's gone. Like, you missed your window of opportunities. And families and individuals, for sure. Like, one of our greatest success stories when we first launched, a young adult in a lower income K through 12 school used the app, had a conversation with the coach, did the automated goal setting, all of the recommendations. Parents set up a savings fund for college for this person to go into medical school. The kid did not like to have personal conversations. In fact, one of the things that he communicated to his AI career coach was, I don't want to hear people complain about their problems all day. However, this particular genotype was very scientific method, but also had this very interesting relationship component. So we're like, This person does not want to hear about problems. Totally could be a doctor if he wanted to. Fast forward to the success story. We got him so prescriptive into exactly what his path to success would be, a pharmaceutical sales rep. He got an internship before he finished high school in the #1 pharmaceutical company through us. He was able to save his parents money because he reduced his time in post-education degree because he knew he needed to start in pharmaceutical sciences, not for being a physician. And he's now, we're 6 years later, he's finished up his fifth year of getting his advanced degree from the pharmacology program. And he's still working for the company. And he's younger than 25. His parents were able to effectively use their savings fund. He's in no debt, and he's making over $160,000 a year. How is that not a win? How is that just not a win for everybody, his family, his community, the company? Like, that gives me goosebumps when we get those kind of success stories. It's great.
No, I love it. And that's and it's not just, it's a success story, it's a testimonial, it's a story that we can relate to go, interesting. Because how many times is a kid forced to go into law or medicine because that's what the family does?
Yes.
And he had the aptitude for it, but he didn't have the emotional connection to go, I'm not going to thrive there. I'm going to die.
Yes.
And that's what I call prison. So let's keep people out of prison.
Yeah, we don't die.
And give them good, productive work to do. People work is what we call it, right? But it's so much more than kids in college. That's one aspect, but we're talking about workforce. We're talking about helping businesses grow. You may not be old enough for this. This is a $6 million man, right? We're going to make him faster, stronger. That's kind of what you're doing with business and people. And doing it in, did you say under 10 minutes? Is that what you said?
Yes, under 10 minutes. So the part of my character, the thing that drives me insane the most is wasting time. My dad said there's only 2 things about life that you need to be aware of. One is that time doesn't care what you do with it, and neither does anybody else. And so if your time is going to go, whether you decide to be effective, be lazy, it doesn't matter. It's just going to go on, just marches on. Doesn't go backwards, it only goes forwards. But if you choose not to do anything with it, or you choose to waste it, you're the only one that's going to feel the consequences. And the irony of this whole statement is that you might not even think there was a consequence. You just might be like going through life and like just doing whatever flowed with that you thought, until, as I always tell my family members or friends, like, you don't know you've had something that's the best until you've actually had the best. So, and then you start to experience a powerful platform and experience like people work, and you're like, why did I make something so complicated?
Yeah.
Why did I choose to spend my time putting my heels in the sand of change? And I'm fine. Like, I actually enjoyed things. Like, I got more time to do X, Y, Z. You know, that aha is lovely when I get to hear it, but it takes so long for people to kind of get past themselves to try something like people, because like you said earlier, it is bleeding edge.
It really is. It's funny because you help people escape their own prisons.
Yes, very true.
And I don't know if you ever watched Andy Griffith when you were growing up, right? Andy Griffith.
Of course.
You remember Otis, the drunk?
Of course, yes.
And Andy would throw him in the jail cell and close the door and lock it, and then Otis would reach through the bars and grab the keys and unlock it. He unlocked his own cell. That's what you're doing. Yes. That's people work, because we're all stuck in our own prisons mentally, emotionally. Well, you know what? All of my family does this, therefore I am going to do this. No. You have options, and until PeopleWorks came out, your options were go talk to a guidance counselor or go do this. Girl, I'm sitting here thinking about the kids who are in school who are not put in the talented and gifted programs. Mm-hmm. If you're not chosen for that, do you know what it does to you mentally and emotionally?
Oh yeah, it's pretty disheartening.
It is, and then that kid and parents could go to PeopleWorks, take your assessment, get involved, and go, you know what? You sit over there in the gifted program. I'm just going to blow the doors off you because I know.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciate how specific that scenario was, because it is a challenge that we face today. And what I try to explain to any of our potential K through 12 customers that are the gateway to the parents. This is one of the reasons why I just go to the parents. I just go to private schools. I just go to parents because our K through 12 public system it's so heavily politicized. It's very hard to make good progress, even though we're not giving up. We're finding our champions where we can find them, and they're getting the amazing results. But where I was going, Michael, is that parents only know what you know. Guidance counselors only know what they know. Yeah. There are 55 million new jobs created since 2021. How do you know? Like, where's your connection to reality to understand how your awesomeness fits into all of those options? Like, I always ask a parent who's like, oh, I really want my child to do accounting. And I say to them, okay, what does an accountant do in 2030? And they'll say something like, well, we reconcile the books. I said, no, sorry, AI will do that. So are you saying that you want your child to know how to audit AI? Like, what are you really saying about that particular area of interest? Or we had another user that came to us, and it was kind of crazy. 16-year-old boy just took his high school aptitude test, and the aptitude test told him to be a museum security guard. Okay. How? Why? What? Like, where did that come from? They used our technology. The mom called me crying, saying, "This, you totally got my son. You totally got it." And now he's on his way to doing political science for his particular role that he's planning to get. I mean, we get down to the very specifics, and the relief of saying that, oh no, you saw me. You got me as a human being. Oh, and this is how I could play in the future. Let me try. Like, that's it. That's such a different experience from, I know what I know, and now I'm going to force my what I don't know onto the next generation. I just think that's a disservice. Like, I just think that's going to create so many problems.
Yeah. It's almost like, and this is not a great analogy because I just thought of it and I haven't fleshed it out yet, but it's like walking into the train station in New York, and I've never been there, but I assume you walk in and they have like 30 trains you can jump on.
Yes.
That's the old style of waiting versus walking into, Tesla's new launch pad, and it says, where in the universe would you like to go today?
Yes. That's great. Yeah.
Okay. It's you're open. You're not only opening up mindsets, you're giving confidence, you're opening up possibilities of, in a sense, what would you like to do? And coming back to the whole thing of, you can be anything you want to be. What do you want to be? And we'll help you discern and discover from your genomes, from AI, from everything, what you are most gifted at, because you know what? We see you. I love that. We see you. You are gifted and unique. And here's the path that has been laid, that could be laid out for you. It's yours for the choosing.
Yes.
Should
yes,
you accept exactly this mission, right? Should you accept this mission?
Here's your mission. It's like the Matrix. Do you take the red pill or the blue pill? The hard way or the easy way?
No. And it goes back to like Mission Impossible, right? Here's your mission if you choose it. Here's your life if you choose to accept it. You can be a museum security guard. Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Or you can go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
this thing that you didn't even know was a thing. Like,
didn't even know was a thing, right? Yeah. And this is like wicked cool. We could talk for hours because you've got my mind going now. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to ask you the other question. Where do people find out more about this?
Well, the best way is from our website. So here's where things get clever or tricky, depends on how you interpret the information. People work is spelled phonetically. So you need to look up PEPLWERK. If you put in people work, you're going to get some India company. While we love our India counterparts, that is not us. So make sure you visit our website, spell people work phonetically, because we're all about being literal, getting people and work connected.
Love it. I'm going to get the Peoplewerk.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Isn't that in Cincinnati?
Stop
WERK,
it.
Cincinnati. Sorry.
I didn't think about that. Yes, W.
KRP.
Yes, yes.
WERK was a radio station that I competed against in the 90s, but wow. Anyway, a lot of fun we can have here on Expert Speak. Kim Kelley, thank you for A, being my guest, B, putting this whole thing together and then releasing it and giving people options and confidence and new insights and new frontiers for life in their families, their business, culture. Who knows where this thing's going to go? I just want to cheer you on and say thank you for doing this. This is amazing.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you for giving me a space to share the story and to explain a little bit more about the why of what it is that we're after achieving through really each of our customers and people who really see that there's some value here. We appreciate them too. So it's all good.
It is all good. So go check out People Work. I'm going to have the link in the show notes. So go down and click that and go check out what they do. Get involved and be part of the community and see what not only they can do for you, but how you can contribute to be part of this growing community. Kim, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for listening to Expert Speak. Tune in again next week for another fantastic episode. Take care. God bless.